I have heard a lot about you from your friend Binta. You desire her lifestyle and would like to acquire wealth and riches of your own. Yes, Binta replied. I am willing and ready to perform any task as long as it makes me rich and wealthy. In a small village in Ibadan lived two sisters, Amara and Adeze. Amara, the elder sister, was known for her generosity, kindness and intelligence. She always helped those in need, excelled in her studies, and treated everyone with respect. Adeze, on the other hand, was known for her greed and selfishness. She desired wealth and luxury and envied anyone who had more than she did. The sisters were raised in a modest home by their parents, who worked hard to provide for them. Their father, Mr. Okoro, was a skilled carpenter, and their mother, Amaka, was a talented seamstress. Despite their humble means, the family was happy and content. Amara embraced her parents' teachings, valuing hard work, honesty, and compassion. She often accompanied her mother to the market where they sold woven goods and shared stories with the market women. Adeze, however, was always restless and dissatisfied. She dreamed of living in a grand house and wearing fine clothes, envying the wealthy families around them. As they grew older, the sisters' personalities became more pronounced. In the year 2020, Amara and Adeze both got admission into the University of Lagos. Amara to study medicine and Adeze mass communication. They were so excited. Adeze even more so because this was the opportunity she had been waiting for to leave their small village, explore, and hopefully come in contact with rich people. On the day of departure, their father, Mr. Okoro, gave them some words of advice. He told them not to forget who they were and where they were coming from. He asked them to focus on their studies and not to get carried away by the new things and experiences awaiting them. Finally, he prayed for them. With tears in their eyes, Mr. Okoro and his wife sent their daughters off to the university. The sisters quickly settled into the university life, and in no time, they met friends, explored the campus, and got a taste of what university life was like. Amara, with her natural kindness, quickly made friends, while Adeze, not so considerate and understanding, also found her place amongst her peers. Adeze had a group of friends she hung out with, but around second semester of final year, she met a rich student from another department named Binta. Binta was beautiful and stunning. She drove a Mercedes-Benz and also had the latest iPhone. She wore the best clothes, hairs, and changed her nails every 2 weeks. She was confident and charismatic. She seemed to have it all. All the ladies admired and envied her, while all the guys wanted to date her. She really was that girl. Surprisingly, Binta approached Adeze, and despite their different backgrounds, the two quickly became friends. Binta introduced Adeze to a more glamorous side of university life, inviting her to upscale parties and events. Adeze envied and was amazed by Binta's lifestyle. As they spent time together, Binta shared that her family was not wealthy, neither did she inherit her wealth, yet she lived a lavish lifestyle. Adeze began to wonder about the source of Binta's wealth. One evening, a month after they met, while sipping cocktails at an exclusive club, Adeze gathered the courage to ask Binta about the source of her wealth. Binta hinted at a personal and deep explanation, promising to reveal it all over dinner the following day. At dinner the next day, Adeze expressed her desperation and willingness to do anything, even if it meant resorting to extreme measures. Satisfied with the look of hunger and desperation in Adeze's eyes, Binta warned Adeze not to disclose what she was about to reveal, emphasizing the consequences if she did. That evening, Binta introduced Adeze to a man called Kojo, a tall dark man with piercing eyes and an air of mystery. They started talking and Adeze found herself drawn to him. Binta received an emergency call and had to leave. Adeze was too engrossed in their conversation to inquire further. As the night progressed, Kojo suggested they continue the conversation at his place. Despite Adeze's initial thoughts about potential dangers and her safety, she decided to throw caution to the wind and follow him home. She was excited to see where this attraction would lead. When they arrived at Kojo's place, a modern one-story building, he served them drinks and the conversation continued. Eventually, he mentioned that it was getting late. He asked if Adeze would want to spend the night together or go back. Adeze hesitated, but he suggested that she could sleep in one of the guest rooms while he slept in his room. This suggestion put Adeze at ease. She felt a sense of calmness about the situation and agreed. She appreciated that he wasn't making advances or pressuring her for intimacy. They eventually wished each other good night, and Adeze settled into the room assigned to her. The room was painted and furnished in white, with beautiful paintings hanging on the walls. After a quick shower and a change of clothes, Adeze couldn't help but admire her surroundings. She felt she was being treated like royalty. She felt grateful for the experience and thought to herself that this was where she truly belonged. She briefly chatted with Binta, who called to check on her before going to bed. That night in a dream, Adeze found herself on the floor before Kojo and a small calabash in an empty room. "Welcome," Kojo said. "I have heard a lot about you from your friend Binta. You desire her lifestyle and would like to acquire wealth and riches of your own." "Yes," Binta replied. "Ha ha ha," Kojo laughed. "Are you sure you have what it takes? Are you ready to do what must be done?" "Yes, I am," Binta desperately responded. "Alright," Kojo said, "but I must warn you, there is a price to pay, rules to be kept, and consequences and repercussions if you fail or break any of the rules." "I am willing and ready to perform any task as long as it makes me rich and wealthy," Binta replied. Kojo laughed at her determination. He dipped his hand into the calabash in front of him and brought out a very big snake with beautiful scales. The snake slithered from his hand and crawled towards Adeze. Adeze was terrified and tried to move, but Kojo warned her not to. The snake finally stopped and transformed into a very handsome looking man with golden eyes. The man sat next to Adeze, holding her hand as though they were married. "You are lucky. He has accepted you," Kojo said. "This is your god of wealth. I will give you a bag with him inside. Each time you sleep with him, he will fill the bag with money the next morning. Whenever you need money, just open the bag. The snake will crawl out and transform into a man. He will return into the bag once you are done sleeping with him." Adeze smiled and thought to herself that this task was really quite easy. However, there are 3 rules you must keep. Number 1, you must ensure that you sleep with him at least twice a week. Number 2, no one must see him except you. "What about the 3rd rule?" Adeze asked. "It will be revealed to you in due time." The man transformed back into a snake and crawled into the calabash. Immediately Kojo closed the calabash. Adeze woke up from her sleep. It was already morning. When she left the room, she saw Kojo waiting for her at the door. He gave her the same bag she saw in her dream and reminded her not to forget the rules he had given to her. Adeze thanked Kojo and took the bag safely to the small room where she lived. She placed the bag inside her wardrobe, and at midnight she opened the bag. The snake slithered out and transformed into a handsome man. Adeze slept with the man who was the snake, and the snake returned into the bag after they were done. The next morning, Adeze opened the bag and it was filled with money. She couldn't believe her eyes. She was very happy. The very first thing Adeze bought was a big safe in which she kept the bag Kojo gave her. She then called her friend Binta to share the news as well as thank her. Adeze started living large. Every night she would sleep with the snake and be rewarded with money. She became very popular in and outside the university, and a lot of men wanted her. In a few months, Adeze graduated university, and at the young age of 23, she had started her own media company and was rich and wealthy. Day, Adeze met a young man called Uche, who she greatly admired and was attracted to. She approached him and they decided to spend the evening at her house. When they arrived at Adeze's house in the luxurious part of town, Adeze served Uche a glass of wine while she went to freshen up. Upon entering her room, she was shocked to see Kojo inside her room already. "What's the matter? Why are you here?" Binta asked. "I haven't broken any rules so far." "You are about to break one of them," Kojo responded. "The third and most important rule states that you must not sleep with any other man or person except for the snake." "If I can't sleep with any other man, how will I start a family?" Adeze asked. "You told me you were willing to pay any price. This is one of the many prices you have to pay. The moment you cheat on the snake without the proper rituals, you will run mad and die."